everyone, I'm Mel Broadley and welcome back to the AFL Outer East Netball Show, coming to you from Studio B. How are you, Greg?
I'm good, Mel. Excited to bring another week of netball news. It's been going on in all counts of netball this week. We've had VNL over the weekend, we've had the Netball World Cup last night, which I know Jade got up at 1:10 this morning and was pretty devastated that the game didn't start till 1:40 because I think she wanted a little bit more sleep. And then, a couple of really big games across the Outer East this weekend too. So,
well, the first one was a big upset in Division 2. That's one of our highlights.
Yeah.
And then Olinda, the juggernaut, they're gathering some momentum.
Yeah, they keep going. They keep moving along. Can't really see too much upsetting them. But look, you never know when it comes to finals, especially.
Never say never.
All right, so
Club Corner.
Yeah, this is one that we've had a few queries from clubs around in terms of, especially the juniors. Where are the juniors going? Who are they following? Just to clear everything up, all grades will be top 5. Okay, so that's the way the format's running this year. Now, with the juniors, the blue division will follow the Premier Division games.
Yes, and their grand final will be held on the grand final AFL Eve.
Correct, on the Friday.
Friday, the 27th of September.
Yeah, which was a massive day last year, so it's going to be exciting to add even more games to that day because the crowd was huge and, you know, it was a great day of netball and football. The Whites will follow the Division 1 week, so over the next few weeks we'll see some changes to make sure that they line up with both of those divisions.
Yep. And that grand final will be held on Sunday, the 22nd of September.
Correct. I'm glad you got your dates all planned out.
Got it all down, all in front of me. And then we will have Division 2's grand final on Saturday, the 14th of September.
Correct.
So they're consecutive, one after the other, so that if you would like to go and watch one or the other, you will be able to, no matter what division you play in.
Yeah, and that's
bringing the league together.
Yeah, and that's the way that it's worked the last few years as well, which has been really, really good. Because obviously, amongst the valley and certainly across the southeast clubs, there are some people that like to go watch the other divisions to see what's happening in September, because that's the biggest time of the year.
And all tenders go out and are ready to be submitted, if they should be, by the time this show goes to air.
Yep.
Tuesday of this week, so we should know in the next few days, maybe, depending on how
give or take
how long the league take to go through all of our submissions, but we should know quite soon where all grand finals will be hosted.
Yeah, all the finals really, and one of the things that we mentioned just links in with the finals, especially for the junior netball. Early days, there may be a need to use some club umpires for those initial finals, but the idea is that the league endeavour to get as many of the finals through the later stage of September covered by panel umpires. So we'll work with clubs on that to make sure they're aware of that as early as possible.
So let's take a look at the results. Greg, what have we got for Premier Division in, what was it, round 12?
Round 12. So Olinda defeated Healesville 73-31. You know, pleasing to see Healesville change the scoreline from last time. They've restricted Olinda to 73 and they've also been able to score 31. So they'll be happy with that turnaround, especially from last time at the beginning of the year where Olinda just, you know, they rolled them really, really well. Narry defeated Upwey 56-32, so not too many surprises in that game. Beaky, though, they defeated Wandon 49-46. Now, we know that VNL was happening over the weekend, so Casey had a game, you guys versed Waves, and Blaze also had a game against Geelong. So it meant that there are a few girls right across the Outer East that were unavailable to play in their footy netball teams. Beaky were one of those. That I would say that's why the scoreline is that close.
Definitely.
Given them at full strength, I don't think Wandon will get that close to them.
Yep. And the last game?
The last game was Cranbourne defeated Woorolloc at home down in Cranbourne. Now, from all reports, it's low scoring, but mainly because of the conditions and
wind.
Yeah, wind, and every time we used to play at Casey, it used to be really poor conditions from a wind perspective.
Yeah.
You know, the sun's always shining down there, or I should say most of the time, but the wind is terrible at the best of times.
Yeah.
So it always means that goalers have a really tough time to get the ball in the hoop.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at the ladder for the Premier Division, and we still see Olinda Ferny Creek well and truly out in front by 2 games over Beaky, who are just 1 game now in front of Cranbourne.
Yep.
And followed by Woorolloc on 32 and Narry on 24, rounding out the top 5.
Yeah. So, and just on that, so it's really good to see, a good mix of the Southeast and the Yarra.
Yeah, I think it looks
Yarra
great
clubs.
for netball on that ladder.
Certainly in Premier Division.
Yeah.
And that's what we were hoping for at the beginning of the year when we did that merger, is that the competitions can be as evenly matched as possible.
So the round 13 fixture for the Premier Division sees Warrialloc take on Alinda, Berwick take on Beaky in Battle of the Creek. Can't wait to host them at home. Narry take on Healesville, and Wandon take on Cranbourne, leaving Upwey Tacoma with the bye.
Yep.
Oh, the best worst photos.
No, I don't know whether this is
It's
the
from
worst.
I think it's from the archives, this one too.
Yeah, this one's from our friends at Frankie Photography. They got out to Monbulk's game last weekend, so it wasn't this weekend against Pakenham, it was a weekend before, and took a really nice snap of Tiana here. Now, Tiana
Graceful.
does play... Yeah, it's very graceful. Yeah, and this probably sums up the way that she plays her netball. You know, she's very aerial, she loves to take a high ball. So I don't know whether this would be a best worst photo, but we couldn't not include it in.
I'll zoom
the
in.
show.
Her eyes are shut.
Yeah, apart from her eyes being shut.
But hang on, even our juniors shut their eyes, as per little Lexi last week. So
Yeah.
it's the shutter speed, she told me.
Well, and the other thing was that she didn't really explain why she was so far behind the ball, though. I don't know whether Lexi gave us a very good explanation as to why you were that far away.
Don't know. So the Division 1 results for round 12 saw Rock defeat Belgrave 58-29. Mount Evelyn defeated Doveton 50-34. Monbulk defeated Packy 47-41.
Yeah. And we've been looking at those two.
We have.
And interestingly enough, when we go back through the best players, Monbulk did have Steph back this week and was in their best players. And, I think, again, when Monbulk are, when they've got Steph there, players rise around her. When she's not there, they still seem to rise, but she just adds a different spark to that team. So I'm probably not surprised that Monbulk won that game, only because I know how well they're playing at the moment.
Yeah, you've seen them a bit this season, haven't you?
Seen them a couple of times, and I think Christina's doing a great job with them down at their courts.
And rounding out the last game was Warburton defeating Emerald 57-43. So we should have the ladder up there. How does that look, Greg?
So Rock out in front still. They have had the one loss, but they're still 4 points in front of Mount Ev. Monbulk now find themselves a game clear in third spot from Pakenham, but then Doveton round out with Packy on 24 points. So top five, you're looking at again a couple of Yarra clubs, but then also a couple of Southeast clubs. So
yes, that's great.
Really good to see that happening in Div 1 as well. Okay, so Div 1 fixture for round 13. Monbulk versus Warburton Millgrove, Pakenham versus Doveton, Pakenham versus Belgrave, Emerald play Doveton and Mount Ev play Rock. So the one I'm really keen to see is the bottom one, which is Mount Ev versus Rock. We saw that was a pretty good game last time.
Yeah.
But they were at Rock first time round, whereas this time they'll be at Mount Evelyn. It's a little bit cooler. It's not as much sunshine gets into the hills up there, so it'll be interesting to see how Rock travels this weekend.
Well, I've already taken a look at the 7-day outlook because Saturday we had a couple of games at home at Berwick, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Sunshine, beautiful, but no crowds because we only had 3 games, which happens sometimes, but that's fine.
Yep.
We love hosting Berwick Springs, the new people in the league, and it was great to sit down with Melissa for a bit and have a chat about how they were going. Yeah, and I've had a look because that Murphy's Law is no one was really playing, and then Battle of the Creek this week. The sun is shining, but there is rain predicted. So,
look, I think we're lucky to get away with having no rain any of these weeks coming forward into the middle of winter. So yeah, fingers crossed it holds out for you guys for Battle of the Creek.
Yeah, I was more talking about that Mount Ev game.
I think
see how dewy it's going to be.
Yeah, if it gets dewy up there on the court, then it will definitely change the speed of the game and could certainly bring those two into a really tight tussle. Yeah.
So what have we got now?
Okay, so favourite segment, the Ask Greg segment. This one is more skill-based, which is really good because we want players to be able to come and ask us questions on how they can improve certain areas of their game. This one, what's the best way to improve my agility? I think whenever it comes to being a netballer, it's what you do behind closed doors when nobody's looking. That's the most important. And that comes down to how disciplined you are with your rehab. That comes down to how disciplined you are with your preparation, but also how much ownership and discipline you take around your skill development. Now, we know within netball, footwork is one of the most important parts of the game.
Definitely.
So what you do at home can really impact your ability to play well on the weekends. I used to love getting cones out at home and just putting them in the backyard. I'd make different little circuits that I could follow, or I'd get hurdles, anything really, old rubbish bins, old crates that would help me make sure I could change direction really strongly. And then I used to either get one of my brothers or my sister, sometimes mum and dad might come out and throw a ball throughout that circuit just to make sure that I was still keeping my ball skills nice and sharp whilst I was practicing my agility. So it doesn't really matter how you set it up, but as long as you've got a few changes of directions, something that you can imitate your preliminary drives, and make sure that your change direction is really, really sharp.
That was a great question.
Yeah, it was a really good question.
I liked your answer too.
Thanks, Mel.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's have a look at Div 2 because there was a cracker on the weekend. Really
Yes.
big upset. Yarra Glen defeated Yea in a World Cup nail biter. They won by a
We
goal.
can say that.
Yeah, they won by a goal. Look, to be honest with you, I don't think Yea obviously they're going to be disappointed, and Yarra Glen have played some great netball to beat Yea. But Yea had some of their big guns out, so I don't think they would be too worried about the loss in the big scheme of things, because I think when they're at full power, yeah, like I said earlier, it's going to be hard to see anybody really, come close to them. And I know, the WorkSafe round, King Lake weren't far off them, but they were still missing some players in that game. So I think well done to Yarra Glen on such a big win. And Alicia's doing some really good things out at Yarra Glen, so it's great to see them get the reward against Yea. But like I said, I think Yea won't be too worried about that in the big picture. Seville defeated Yarra Junction 68-37, and Powertown defeated Alex 53-42. Now, in that Powertown game, just a bit of a shout out to Georgie Haynes, who played her 100th game. So,
awesome.
Congrats, Georgie. We had a bit of time out on the court with you over the last 12 months, and really good to see you still putting some good netball out on the court.
So the ladder for Division 2 sees Yea still out in front, clear by one game. Over Seville on 48, King Lake 40, and rounding out the top 4 and 5 are Yarra Glen on 36 and Alex on 32.
Yep.
That could be interesting though, coming home with the Powertown and Yarra Junction on equal points.
On the 28 points. And Yarra Junction obviously picked up some points like we mentioned last week because of a bylaw breach from one of their opposition. So that sits them one game out of the top 5.
Yeah.
So
that top 5 could be interesting coming into the last few rounds.
Yeah, and I think what the win with Yarra Glen on Yea, what that's done is it's boosted them a game clear now in 4th. So 5th, 6th and 7th really have a battle to try and get that last spot in finals.
Yeah, definitely. So the round 2 fixture for round 15. Sorry, Division 2 fixture for round 15.
So many numbers.
Look, we've got no outtakes this week, so let's just keep going. We see Alex take on Seville, Powertown take on King Lake, Yarra Junction take on Yarra Glen, and rounding out the last game is Yea versus Gembrook.
Yep. Okay, junior results from this weekend. So
let's have a look at it.
At the under 17 blue division. Rock and Warburton played last week. Yeah. Now their results 52-8. So Rock obviously playing some really solid netball in the 17s. This week though, Alinda close game against Hillsville, 28-21.
It's great.
Berwick, you guys defeated Doveton 24-17. So again another close one. Narry Warren defeated Pakenham 32-22, and Beaky defeated Wandon 47-15. So, again, that division and the white division in the 17s are the ones that we will look at for next year coming into hopefully the senior ranks. So it'll be interesting to see where some of those younger girls then find their way into the senior grades.
Yeah, well, I think all bar one of our players in the 17s at Berwick are all bottom age or bottom age.
Yeah,
could be playing 15s. We've only got one.
Right. You've got Laney
Yep.
playing in
and Brooklyn
in the 17s
and Brooke Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cheating a little bit there, trying to pump up your 17s with some of your youngies.
When you got the talent, mate, you
Yeah.
may as well put it up there.
Oh, and I think it's good
It's
for
good
their
for them.
experience too. I
Yeah.
would. I'm sure if we were at Berwick and you had that sort of talent there, you'd be trying to find ways to filter them into C and D grade, even to give them that taste of senior netball.
Yeah, a couple
as
of,
well.
I think Elliot's played D grade.
Yeah.
And anyway.
Okay, nothing else.
Oh, that's it.
Ah,
You've done all your talking.
okay, you do decide. Until next time.
Get your game face on.